Alright guys, so I'm going to go over what topics are going to be covered and who we all are. I know we kind of introduced ourselves at the beginning, but this is for your monthly safety meeting, and we're going to do sun safety. So we're going to cover UV rays and limiting UV exposure. That's going to be done by Crystal. Crystal is a trauma ICU nurse. We're going to cover skin cancer. That will be by Heather. She's a neuro ICU nurse. We have the ABCDEs of skin assessment, and that'll be done by Heather. Also, I forgot that in yours. I'm going to cover the Fitzpatrick skin assessment. My name's Jess. I'm an emergency room nurse. And then we have the heat illness, which will be done by Rebecca. She's a med-surg nurse. And then Emily and myself are going to cover the slip, slap, slop, rap campaign, which you guys are going to love the video. All right. So Crystal's first.
Alright, so I'm going to talk about the different types of UV rays. Mostly that you guys have heard would probably be UVA, UVB. There's also UVC, which are usually absorbed by the ozone, and that's the visible rays and the infrared rays. Alright, so what are UV rays? The types of light that reach the Earth. UV rays cannot be seen by the naked eye. They are linked to skin cancer and have been identified as human carcinogens. They damage people's DNA in their skin, causing mutations that also lead to skin cancer. And the three types again, A, B, and C. Okay. UV rays. 95% of the UV rays that reach the Earth are represented here. For UVA. UVA are not as intense as the UVB. There are more UVA rays than there are UVB. They are able to penetrate clouds and glass, so even if it's a cloudy day, you can still get burned. They are all year round during daylight hours with equal intensity. They are emitted by tanning beds, so if anybody uses those, I'm sure all you guys do. They reach the dermis layer of the skin, and they can cause aging, wrinkles, and damage the base of the epidermis, which result in skin cancer. UVB rays, they damage the outer layer of the epidermis. They are responsible for skin reddening and sunburn. They can cause skin cancer and photoaging. And the highest amount of UVB rays occur between 10 a.m. and 4 p.m., which, if you guys are working outside, that's most of your day, between April and October. And the UVB rays do not penetrate glass as much as the UV rays. UVC rays are the shortest of all the rays. They are absorbed by the ozone layer and do not reach the Earth's surface, so they really don't even count. This is just a picture of the different rays and where they're absorbed, what they do, which I kind of already went over. And here's the rays and how deep they go in the skin, like the UVC, it's absorbed in the ozone layer, the UVB goes through the skin surface in the epidermis, and then the UVA go all the way through. How strong are the UVA rays, or UV rays that are reaching you? UV rays are the strongest between 10 and 4, which we already went over. Obviously stronger in the summer and spring. The closer to the equator you are, which us being near Pittsburgh, we are not very close to the equator, but the closer you are, the more exposed you are. The higher altitude you are, the more exposed you are. And like I said before, just because it's cloudy does not mean that you are not exposed to the rays. And some clouds can intensify the UV rays, but also others won't. And just because you're in the pool of the ocean, it's like sand, snow, pavement, grass, any of that stuff, the UV rays can bounce off the surface and also expose you to being burned. People that live in areas where it's sunny all year round obviously are more exposed to UV rays. Also people that work outside like you do, and people that work without protective clothing are at risk for skin cancer. How do I reduce my exposure to UV rays? And then this is for Jess.
Alright, so the Slip, Slop, Slap campaign was started in the 80s in Australia. They were encouraging people to reduce their sun exposure and protect themselves against the risk of skin cancer. So we have Sid the Dancing Seagull, and we're going to show you a video on him. It was the original campaign from back in the 80s. It was funded by public donations, and then, I don't know exactly when, but the American Cancer Society improved the Slip, Slop, Slap campaign by making it Slip, Slop, Slap, Rap campaign. And we'll show you how they did that. We're going to show the video. Okay. I'm just going to minimize this and pull the video up. The original campaign.
I love this.
It sounds like a phrase when you say it like that. Slip, slop, slap. If the sun is summer, slap. Slip, slop, slap. Slop, slap. Slip on a shirt, slap on sunscreen, and slap on a hat. Slip, slop, slap.
Sure, this would be a good test.
You have to do the dance in this too.
Slop, slap.
Alright. Alright, so to go over it, the slip part of it is you slip on a shirt, slop on sunscreen, slap on a hat, and then the American Cancer Society.
Your support makes UCTV programming possible. Contribute on at uctv.tv/.
And then the American Cancer Society added the wrap part to wrap on sunglasses to protect your eyes. So when you slip on a shirt, articles of clothing that cover as much skin as possible are the best. The ones, we kind of put an example of different fabrics. Obviously, if there's less holes between the fabric, it's better to protect yourself. Darker clothes are better than lighter clothes. Long sleeves and pants protect better than short sleeves and shorts. More vivid colors protect better than paler colors. Rayon and polyester offer the most protection. A general rule of thumb is if you hold your shirt up and you can see through it to the light, it's probably not protecting you pretty good. So, slip on a shirt. Lightweight gives special coating to absorb the UV rays. If your clothing has a UV protection label on them, they're probably pretty good, which if you're working out in the sun, that would probably be a good idea. The higher the UPF, the more protection from the UV rays. And you can use a product similar to laundry detergent in your washing machine to increase the UPF factor in your clothing that you already have in your closet since you're working outside. Then Emily's going to cover the slop part.
Okay, so I have slop on sunscreen. The purpose of sunscreen is just to block the UV rays and prevent damage at the cellular level to your skin. It comes in many forms. You have lotions, gels, sprays, ointments. It can be in your daily face moisturizer and your lip balm or lip gloss, and I bet all of you are lip gloss in here. SPF is an important thing when it comes to sunblock. It is your sun protection factor. It's the amount of protection basically that your sunblock offers for just the UVB rays alone. The higher the SPF, the higher your protection against the UVB rays. So your SPF 15 blocks about 93%, your SPF 30 blocks about 97%, SPF 100 blocks 99%, but regardless of how high you go, even 100%, you're not completely protected. The American Cancer Society also noted that anything below SPF 15 does not actually provide you with protection against skin cancer. So there are different types of sunscreen on the market. You have a broad spectrum, which protects against both your UVA and your UVB. Remember that your SPF only tells you your protection against a UVB ray. You want to look for sunblocks that have zinc oxide, titanium oxide, avobenzone, and ecamisole in them. And you also have your water-resistant sunblocks. They are good for your individuals that are sweating, that are working outside, so it's perfect for everybody in here. Depending on the label, your water resistant provides protection for 40 minutes to 80 minutes. And sunblock is no longer allowed to be called sweat-proof or waterproof because this is very misleading and people weren't applying sunblock as much as they needed to. So this is just an example of like sunblock. If you go in the store, you'll see the brand name, and then below this is broad spectrum. So you have your UVA and your UVB protection and your SPF. So you have SPF 15. If you go over here in the ingredients, you see, I know it's really little, but it says it has avobenzone, and that's your UVA protection. Down below it says water resistant. This is good for anyone working outside, and it only lasts for 40 minutes. So this needs reapplied every 40 minutes. This picture here, the top left, is a sunscreen lip balm that you can wear because your lips can burn just like the top of your head or your ears. And this is a face stick that you can apply, just roll it on your face like deodorant, so that way you're not getting lotion in your eyes. Just as important as to what sunscreen you buy, how to apply it is also really important to know how to do. First, you need to follow the directions just listed on the bottle. You want to use about 1 ounce or a shot glass worth of sunblock to cover your arms, your legs, your face, and your neck. Reapply at least every 2 hours, or for water resistant, every 40 minutes or 80 minutes, depending on what it says. It should be put on at least 30 minutes before you go outside. And you need to reapply immediately after swimming or toweling off your face from sweat. If you're outside all day, you can expect to use at least half of an 8-ounce bottle, which I know I've never actually used that much, so we're probably all guilty of not using enough sunblock. Next part of the campaign is slap on a hat. You want to select a hat with at least a 2-inch brim that covers your eyes, your ears, your neck, and the underside of the brim should be dark. It prevents the reflection of the rays back into your eyes and your nose. This is going to sound silly, but a shade cap offers the most protection. I'll show you a picture of what it looks like. It looks a smidge odd. And baseball caps, even though they protect the top of your head, aren't the best because your ears and your neck are exposed. And these are common sites for skin cancer. So this is your wide brim hat. I don't know if any of the gentlemen in here would wear that, but maybe you might.
Well, we got a couple. We'd rather keep that private information.
Maybe you would wear a slap hat. So think of like a baseball cap. You can make one yourself, baseball cap plus a bandana, if you wanted to protect your neck.
You right,
Basically. So the last part is wrap on sunglasses. UV rays can damage your lens, your cornea, your retina, and the delicate skin that's around your eyes. You want to look for large frame sunglasses just because they cover most of your face. Your sunglasses should have a meets ANSI UV rating approval. It tells you that your sunglasses protect against 99% your UVA and your UVB rays. The UV protection actually comes from an invisible chemical that is applied to your lenses, so just because your lenses are dark doesn't mean that they offer you protection. They can just be cosmetic, and that protects you from 70% of the rays.
What about polarized? What's that mean?
Polarized can just be a cosmetic too. So unless it says that ANSI, you're not actually protected. These are examples of just large frame sunglasses that protect most of your face. So Jess and I have an activity for the group to test your knowledge of the Slip Slap Slop campaign.
Here you go, Bob.
In our little green basket here, you're going to find good and bad examples of things to wear out in the sun. So just pick one, tell us why it's good or bad. We'll start over here.
It's first. Because it provides shade and prevents the sun from hitting directly on your face.
That's right.
Pick it up good.
This is after sun, so I mean, I guess this isn't really good, right? It's good if you didn't listen to all the hints, right?
So it's not good before.
Yeah, not good before.
Oh, what do I get to that?
Close your eyes.
I'll miss.
Okay. Broad spectrum SPF 30. I guess that would be good to go.
That is good.
Right?
Let me see here. I don't go with the hat. I don't really do what.
Protect your forehead. Shade, or you flip it around back if you're backwards.
You're brown.
So is it good or bad?
Is it good or bad?
It's good.
It's bad.
It's
Bad.
bad because it's
Depends how
really
many
It's
bad.
your ears.
Doesn't
No,
come
you're
in
not.
with
It's
It's a very
fire.
common place for skin cancer.
Well, what if you just tuck your ears up in there? Dark. Oh, no, it ain't. You can see through it. Or how you can see.
It's got long
Okay.
sleeves though.
But it's thin.
It's got, yeah, but it's thin, so that's right. You can see through it.
misleading.
Yeah, you can see the light.
Good job, Paul.
You were listening.
That was a trick, I think.
That wasn't
Well,
true.
see,
No,
it's ours.
that wasn't true.
Sunglasses. The
Look pretty good.
yeah, hey, I'm not sure if these are nothing more than because I don't see anything that's marked on them as far as I think these are just to look good
Okay.
as opposed to
Those are good.
providing
Yeah.
you optimum
They're big.
performance.
Right, they're big, they're just not that, they're more cosmetic than the ASNI labels, that's right. Alright, so everyone did great. Thanks for participating. The next part is on skin cancer.
Everybody gets an
There are some gross pictures in here.
A. I know,
just
I'm
a
glad you
warning.
guys are done eating. We're just going to go over skin cancer. So it's the most common form of cancer in the United States. More than 3.5 million cases of basal and squamous cell, which you'll learn are the most common types. And 76,000 people are diagnosed with melanoma, which is the deadliest form of skin cancer. And though a lot of people get diagnosed with this, it's the most preventable type of cancer. So the American Cancer Society encourages people to take steps to help lower their risk. So the three main types, they all start in the cells of the skin, are basal cell, squamous cell, and the melanomas. And then the ones listed down here, which we're not really going to touch upon, make up less than 1% of the diagnosis. So basal cell carcinoma is the most common. There are 8 out of 10 diagnosed. Mainly fall on areas that are exposed to the sun, so this would apply to you guys, like the head, the neck. They're slow growers, rarely spread to other parts, usually caught early enough. And if you notice, they can appear all kinds of different ways. Flat, firm, pale, yellow, raised, red, pink. So anytime you notice anything on your skin that maybe changed or wasn't there before or looks strange to you, you probably should get it checked out. Early detection is definitely the most important. Here's a couple examples. So you can see this one's raised, this one's flat, they're both pink. This one's a little bit further along, these two, because they're already open and they're starting to have some signs of...
He's wearing a baseball hat. See?
Yeah, on the ear. See, that's why you need to put the picture on, yeah.
Yeah, learn something.
So the next one is squamous cell, and this one is also one of the more common ones, but it's less common than basal, and it's 2 out of 10 fall under this type. It can also develop in scars or skin sores on any part. It's slow growing, but if left untreated, it can spread. And then some start as this actinic keratosis, which is considered pre-cancer, and they're usually like a small, pink, rough, scaly patches on the skin, usually on the arms or any kind of sun-exposed areas. And then there's a squamous cell carcinoma in situ, which is also called Bowen's disease, and it's the earliest form of squamous cell. So the actinic keratosis is pre-cancer, and then the Bowen's is actually the earliest form of it. It also appears as rough patches in sun-exposed areas, but they tend to be larger, redder, and scalier than the actinic keratosis. So squamous cell can also appear rough and scaly. They might crust or bleed. They can be raised, growths, or lumps. Open sores, might have some oozing, or they could look wart-like. And so this is an example. I don't know how well you can see it, but you can barely tell. They're just small patches on the arm of the actinic. So that's pre-cancer. This one is the earliest form of squamous cell. And then these three. This is a more developed, starting to crust and ooze. Sorry about this being after lunch. And then melanoma is the worst type. It's the least common, but it's the most dangerous. It can have different color, jagged borders. It may not be round. You might have one half that's round and the other half looks different. It can occur anywhere on the skin, but most commonly in men, you'll find it on the trunk, which is the chest and the back, and in women on the legs. And then other common areas are the neck and the face. Usually it's brown or black, but it can appear pink, tan, or even white. It grows very quickly and it spreads into surrounding skin. And it's more than 20 times more common in whites than in African Americans. And one of the most common cancers in young adults. And I don't know, there was like a video circulating. It was like if I could tell my 16-year-old self. I don't know if you guys saw that. It was a big campaign against melanoma. So this is what melanomas look like. As you can see, they're a little bit darker. They're a little bit more prominent, more noticeable. So anything that looks anything like, you want to go get this looked at because it will spread to other areas in the body and it's fast growing. So you should know your normals. A normal mole is usually evenly colored, brown to black, flat or raised, round or oval, and less than 6 millimeters, so about 1/4 of an inch. It can be present at birth, but most appear during childhood or young adult. And new moles that appear later in life should be checked by a doctor. Once a mole has developed, it will usually stay the same size, shape, and color for many years. Some can fade with age, and most people have moles, and almost all moles are harmless. So the important thing is to know your ABCDEs. So when you look at something on your skin and you think, should I get this checked out, you're going to want to think about your ABCDEs. So A is asymmetry. So 1/2 of a mole or birthmark does not match the other. B is border. The edges are irregular, ragged, notched, or blurred. C is color. If the color is not the same all over, it may include shades of brown or black, sometimes with patches of pink, red, white, or blue. D is diameter. If the spot's larger than 6 millimeters, which they say is like the size of a pencil eraser. But melanomas can be sometimes smaller than this, so that's tricky. And E is evolving. So if the mole changes in size, shape, or color, some melanomas do not fit the rule described above, so it's important to tell your doctor about any changes or new spots on the skin or growths. And then this is just a quick and easy self-examination. So you want to go in front of a mirror, examine your body front to back, and then right to left with your arms raised in the air to check for anything. Bend your elbows and look carefully at the forearms and under your arms, like underarms and palms, and then look at the back of the legs, feel spaces between the toes and soles. Examine the back of your neck, scalp with a hand mirror, kind of look up, because that's a big place that gets sun exposure. Part your hair and look closer. And then finally check your back buttocks with a hand mirror. And it's not a bad idea to start doing routine preventative checkups at the dermatologist, because they'll do like a full body assessment on you. And if you go every year, they'll notice anything that changes. Any questions?
Alright, so in your packets that Emily printed out for everybody, we put in the Fitzpatrick Skin Assessment Tool. So we're going to go along and do it ourselves, and there's pens on the table, so you guys are going to start your answers as we go. Alright, so under genetic disposition, what is the color of your eyes?
I have to look in the mirror.
You have blue eyes. Or I can answer them for you. What is the natural color of your hair?
I don't have gray.
Your youthhood hair.
My youthhood.
The color of your skin in your non-exposed areas. And then do you have any freckles on your unexposed areas? Then add those 4 questions up and put your little number on the line right there. The next section is your reaction to sun exposure. What happens when you stay in the sun too long? To what degree do you turn brown? Do you turn brown within several hours after sun exposure? And then how does your face react to the sun? And then add those 4 up. Give yourself a number. And the last section is the tanning habits. When did you last expose your body to sun? That could be in tanning bed or out in the sun.
I don't have minutes, do they, for you guys?
Did you expose the area to be treated to the sun? And then add all three sections up and give yourself a number. And we're going to go over what the numbers mean. Does everybody have a number?
You can't copy off the joke.
He's copying off me. You on the first section.
That's right.
Wait till driver gets here.
You can take
Yeah, we would still be on the first page.
Alright, so if you scored a 0 to 7, you are type 1, you're highly sensitive, always burn, and you never tan. Typically those are the people with red hair and lots of freckles. If you scored an 8 to 16, you're type 2, you're very sun sensitive, you burn easily, and you tan minimally. Usually these are the fair-skinned Caucasian people. You scored 17 to 25, you're type 3. This means you're sun-sensitive skin. Sometimes you burn and you tan slowly to a light brown. If you scored 25 to 30, this means you're a type 4. You are minimally sun-sensitive. You don't burn a lot. You always tan to a moderate brown. This is more of your Hispanic. And then if you scored over 30, you are a type 5 or a type 6. You have sun-insensitive skin, you rarely burn and you tan very well. It means you're deeply pigmented, so mostly these are the Hispanics and your African American people that have the darker black skin.
So what you
Actually,
gonna involve with
I'm
fire?
sure none of you guys go to a tanning bed, but when I was younger and I went to a tanning bed, they actually made us fill this out before you went in so they knew how long you were allowed to tan. So even though it's not safe to tan, at least they're being on the safer side of tanning if you're going to, I guess.
How long the bacon?
Yes.
Now we're going to talk about heat illness. So heat illness is like you guys are out in the sun all day, so it's a little different than just skin cancer and things like that. But heat illness, it can be deadly, but it's preventable. It's when your body temperature rises to unsafe levels. Normally the body can regulate your temperature by sweating. However, when you're out in the sun all day and it's really hot, sweating is not always enough. You'll get heat rash, heat cramps, heat exhaustion, and heat stroke. Anyone that works in hot and humid conditions is at risk for heat illness. Risk increases if the workload is heavy or bulky, clothing, equipment is used. So if you guys have to wear any big vest or anything that's gonna create you to be more, your temperature to go up.
They will wear welding equipment at times for protection.
So here's the difference between exhaustion and the heat stroke. Heat exhaustion is you're going to have heavy sweating, you're going to start to feel weak, cold, pale, clammy skin, you're going to have a fast pulse, but it'll be weak, you're going to be nauseated, possibly even throw up, and also lightheaded, and you might faint. So if you see someone with this, or if you feel that you are starting to be exposed to heat exhaustion, you want to move to a cooler location, lie down, loosen your clothing, apply cool cloths to the body, just sip on some water. You don't want to chug a whole bunch of water. And if you do throw up, then you want to seek medical attention. Now, a heat stroke is when the body temperature reaches more than 103 degrees Fahrenheit. I'm sure you guys just have temperatures below. Hot, red, dry, or moist skin, you'll have a rapid and strong pulse, and you'll possibly can become unconscious. So if you see someone who has these symptoms, you want to immediately call 911, move them to a cooler environment. Again, use the cool cloths to lower the body temperature, but you don't want to give them any fluids. Heat cramps, muscle pain caused from loss of salt from sweating. So treat that by drinking water or an electrolyte replacement drink every 20 minutes. So you want to definitely stay hydrated. Heat rash, it can occur anywhere where your area is more hot. So your neck, because that's exposed, your chest, groin, creases from your elbow, those kind of areas. It looks like a large group of pimples or blisters. So just try going to a cooler work area and keeping the rash dry. But you don't need to put on any lotions or creams. So you want to prevent heat exhaustion by, again, staying hydrated. Drink water every 15 minutes, even if you're not thirsty. Rest in the shade to cool down. Wear a hat and light-colored clothing. Even though we just said that dark-colored clothing is better. So, learn the signs, which we already went over that. Keep an eye out for other people, because since everyone's not here, now you guys have to go out and teach them what you learned. And if, whenever it does start to get hot out, say from the winter to the summer, you take it easy so that your body can adjust to it.
Okay, so we're just going to end the presentation with a 10-question quiz. In your packet, you have A, B, C, D cards. I'm just going to read you the question. Pick the card that corresponds to the right answer on the board. All right, so question 1. How many people will develop skin cancer in their lifetime? This one might be a little tricky. Alright, Joe and Sam are right. The answer is A, 1 in 5. I told you that one was a hard one, though. Okay. What is the most common form of skin cancer? Oh, wait, no, one more. Alright, almost everybody got it right. It's C, basal cell cancer. Alright, the sun's UV rays are strongest during which hours?
Can you see the board?
Hey, everyone got this one right. C, 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Which sun rays penetrate deepest into the skin?
Forget on that.
There's no evil.
Alright, almost everybody has it right. It's A, UVA rays. Is it unnecessary to protect your sunburn or just your skin in general on a cloudy day? Alright, everyone got that right. False. You still need to protect your skin and if you're already sunburned on a cloudy day. 6. How often should sunblock be applied?
Well, that question could be argued a little bit.
Everybody got it right though. C, at least every 2 hours. 7. Which article of clothing best protects against the harmful effects of UV rays?
That's what I was going to choose.
Alright, almost everybody has that right. D, a long sleeve shirt. A straw hat, that's too much like it.
If you're really skinny.
Easy. I like so fast. What are the signs of a heat stroke?
Oh, I didn't mean that.
Alright, everybody has this one right. D, all the above. 9, how do you treat heat rash? Little bumps you get on your skin. Everyone got that right too. D, seek shade and keep the rash dry. And 10, what does the B stand for in the ABCDEs of skin cancer? This one might be a little tricky.
One.
All right, the answer is A, corner. These are just see, I told you this is a little tricky, but everyone did great participating. So these are just our references where we got all our information, and these are for all the pictures that we use. We just want to thank everybody for participating in our presentation. In the packet is an assessment tool for you to grade our communication skills and our presentation skills. If you could fill that out, that would be great.
Yeah, have a smiling couple.